continuation.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sharing my screen. Once you're able to see that, just say yes in chat box, please. Hope it is visible now. Is it visible?
Yes, visible, sir.
Okay, thanks. So yesterday we started the topic safety while using the machines, and we are discussing about in a concept of basically in between we have ended the time. So as I mentioned, each mission have different types of hazards. The few are common, like if you see noise, a slippery surface, sharp edges, or moving parts, then vibration, then nip points, obstructions, or the moving guards. So these are the few common hazards. Apart from that, there will be a specific hazards based on the type of operation and also how the people are interacting with the emissions. As I take in this example, as I mentioned, this is in a sheet processing machines, I mean press machines. So initially, as I give an example, while the die which is moving out of the a bed, the person is trying to take out the guard which is there for the scrap removal or to create a path for the scrap into the conveyor. He was met with an accident. His hand was stuck between the moving bed and the column of the machine. So then we thought of putting a sensors while if the bed is in movement or the die is in movement, so nobody can interrupt the movement. If the interrupts, the movement of the bed will stop. And then initially there are only the one side operators are using the press machine. So once he presses the button, so the RAM will come down, then it will get a punch. So whatever the shape of the die, it will produce that part. Then this guy is empty. So here also again there is a gap. Maybe this person, sometimes he may interact, or sometimes while placing the part, operator who is having control, he may not seen the opposite person. So then we thought of putting here also a control. Both the persons inside the machine, if they press two push buttons, not even single push button, again that is going to be a gap. So each of them have to press two push buttons, total 4 push buttons, then only the RAM will come down and the point of operation will happens. So that whenever the machinery is in operation, so we have a complete control. No person will be interacted with the RAM. And even while the die is coming out, in that case also, we have a photoelectric sensor so that they will not going to get interact. In case of if the photoelectric sensor got interruption, then immediately the die will stop. Then apart from that, as I mentioned, it will be operated in automatic mode where the robots are used separately for the 4 robots for shifting of each part from each machine to one by one from left to right. So in that case, we have fixed guards. Those are again interlocked. So whenever you're trying to open these doors while the machine is in auto control or auto operation, then also all the machines will shut off. So these sort of controls we should implement for better safety controls and also to prevent the accidents. Okay, Fine. So this is how these all sort of things we should check with the operators while creating HERA statements, hazard identification and risk assessments, so that if you involve the ground level operators who are really operating these missions, they will come up with a good solutions. I mean, how, on what ways they will interact with the missions so that we can able to implement the better safety controls. So basically, as I mentioned, we start with hand and foot operated controls. So there may be again manual operated and also foot operated. Some of them are operated by the machines itself. So here, if you can see, the safety devices include closed tools or fixed guards, restricted stroke, interlock guards, pendulum and sweep away devices. We'll see in the coming slides all this. Automatic device with arrest arm and also two-hand control. It is nothing but, again, if you see a smaller kind of press machines, a person can sit and operate, especially in automobile. They do spot welding or punching for the small components. Initially, those machines came with a single press button. With the other hand, he or the person used to feed the raw material, which we need to do some alterations like a spot welding, etc. So later point of time, we have introduced the two-hand push button control to avoid the interaction with the point of operation. And firm foundation and also mounting of the press. These are the few controls we should have with these machines. Even sufficient spacing or screens to prevent the other workers coming in contact with the moving parts. It is nothing but, again, guarding of the moving parts. The RAM should not be descend due to the gravity. This is about, it should not come automatically because it will have a weight. It should not come automatically. Whenever we give a command, then only it should come down. Then regular inspections and maintenance, training and supervision. These are the few safety controls we should ensure that all the machines are equipped with. So if you see the controls here, this is the maximum distance he can able to extend his arms. And I mean, this practice was, I mean, I have not seen, but it is practiced in the early stages. Now the safety has increased and we are getting guards in front of this sharing machines so that you will not reach that point. Okay. This is the restricted arm control. So beyond this, you can't stretch your arms. Again, here, the behavioral aspect, again, it is controlled by the humans. So we should make them aware that all the people who are operating the machines, they should know the do's and don'ts and also the limitations of the safety and also current controls to safeguard themselves. Then we start with a few missions. So one is bending and a farming mission. Mostly you could see in fabrication industries and also in construction industries where they use bending machines for various parts and also for the TMT bars. So this machine is to bend the stock. Stock is nothing but a raw material, or it's a plate, bar, or tube, whatever the shape it is, into a desired shapes. So based on our requirement, we'll put the dies. So then we'll feed the material so that we'll get the part which we want. And bending punches or other tools. So this is the point of operation where these rollers will roll in opposite direction each other so that the feed will come out. The point of operation in the sense where the raw material is turning into a useful or the required part, whether it is a finished goods or a semi-finished goods. Okay. So what kind of hazards will be there? Again, trapping in dies or running nips of the rollers. It is nothing but maybe trapping in between these rollers where the raw material is going, unfortunately, unintentionally or sometimes intentionally. Intentional nobody will do. Mostly, unfortunately, we would have trapped in between these rollers. Wherever the point of contact between these two rollers, those points will be called as nip points. Then sharp corners of the materials, which is about the raw materials, which is having sharp corners. slipping due to lubricants, the material which we are feeding, heating due to the friction of the motion. Whenever this activity is happening, maybe sometimes it may be lesser, or maybe sometimes it is in a hotter. Not with all the machines, but a few machines which will generate heat due to the friction of the point of operation. Then with respect to safety, so the point of operation should be guarded, is nothing but, so whatever the rollers we are seeing here, just a second, please. So whatever the rollers we are seeing here, it should be guarded, so that whatever the rollers we are seeing here, it should be completely guarded by giving a provision to uh, push the raw material, or to give space to the raw material to enter into this rollers. Okay. Then power transmission parts should be enclosed. Power transmission is nothing but, for the rollers definitely will have a drive, a prime movers. Those drive also should be closed. Then safety stops, which is necessary, and also accidental restarting should be prevented. Safety start is nothing but, again, emergency stop button, then accidental restarting. Sometimes what will happen, whenever you're feeding a raw material, due to the load,
Sir,
the
voice is
roller.
not audible.
What about others?
Facing same issue.
For everybody?
Yeah, it's
No, sir.
audible,
Clearly audible, sir.
clearly
It's fine,
audible.
sir. Audible.
Okay. So I'm sorry for that. Whoever is having issue, kindly rejoin or check your internet, please. Thanks. Then accidental restarting. So if I see an accidental restarting, in my experience, I have seen with the angle grinders, the 4-inch grinders. I mean, whatever the grinder you see. So whenever they do a grinding or cutting, if they apply more pressure, sometimes the wheel gets stuck in the material. The operator used to do some vibration, or he will do some adjustment, immediately it gets started. Due to that, there is a high frequency, or high uh, probability or likelihood of damage of that wheel, then which will result in accident. Maybe if the operator is so lucky, he may not get injured, or sometimes otherwise it will go into a serious injury. With the same case, what will happen, then they have implemented this a deadman switch. So previously it is in a swingle switch, how we do for domestic in our homes. Then they started with the deadman switch. So until unless you are not holding the switch, it is not going to active in state. Then in the 5-inch grinding machines, they have implemented this accidental restarting. Then until unless you have switch off the machine, again you have to switch on till the point of time it will not start at all. So those kind of controls, it should be implemented. Okay. Then metal shares, maybe most of you seen. Again, it is going to be in a common machine, sharing machine, where we use for cutting of the sheets in multiple sizes. It will definitely have a limitation again, but in this limit, you can cut the sheets whatever the sizes you want. Again, the point of operation will be near the squares where you could see here. Oh, just a second, please. The point of operation is here. The stock is nothing but the raw material which we are feeding. So here we'll have the operating control is the foot pedal. So here the operator will feed the material by hands, and he will operate the machine by foot pedal switch. So once he operates, presses the foot pedal, the activity starts, then it will cut the metal. So what kind of controls it should be there? So here we have a self-adjusting barrier with automatically adjusting itself to the thickness to cut with a limit. The self-adjusting barrier in the sense is nothing but based on the thickness of the material, the guard will get adjusted. You will have multiple kinds of sticks, kind of metallic parts. So once you feed the material according to the thickness, there it will allow the material to get inside the machine to do the operation. Then the guard should be extended across the full width of the table, and also it may be a slotted or a perforated or set of angle to permit a good visibility to the cutting line. Again, there will be an additional guard. It should not be, it should be extended throughout the table in the sense, okay, the table is around 1.5 meter. So our operations are only mostly with the 1 meter size. So it does not mean that I'll fix only guard for a 1 meter. It should be a full length. And also the guard should be visible in such a way that the operator can able to see the point of operation, to see the dimensions or the desired length which he would like to cut. Then back of the knife should be guarded, and also the chutes or the slides should be attached to the catch the work without reaching close to the knife. Again, chute is nothing but again a hopper to collect the scrap or parts. And after the cutting, we have to collect the parts immediately and without touching from the backside. And also the backside also, it should be guarded effectively to prevent the accidents. Then we have turning lathe machine. So it created a history in the manufacturing sectors. In the I can say it is done an industrial resolution with these machines. So this is the basic lathe machine. For a point of time, we have vertical lathe machines and also horizontal lathe machines. This is the basic machine we have here. So if you see hazards with these machines, again here the job is stationary. So sorry, the job is in motion, and the cutting edge will be in stationary manner. So based on the operation, the job will rotate. Then the point of cutting machine or the chip which will use to cut according to the operator command. In this case, we'll have hazards like the contact with the projection of face plates and also the checks which are obstruction or which is projected outside. Then flying metal chips and also long burrs and also turnings. It is nothing but the chips which will come out from the operation. Flying of the job. So flying of the job will be, you will be fixing the job in this spindle head in the center. If you are not tightened well, so there is a chance of a flying of the job, which will come out of the jaws path, which is, gone. A splashing of coolant resulting in the spilling hazards and also dermatitis. Coolant is nothing but whenever you're cutting a metal, so definitely due to the friction or the resistance, definitely the heat generates. Due to the heat, the insert, it is nothing but that is the cutting piece. It will get heated. There is a chance of the quality issues on the job. So where they continuously feed the coolant water, there they use it as a sort of chemical. It will take out the heat which is generating at the cutting area, so that it will give a longer life and also a better quality. So it is also 95 liters and 5 to 6 liters of chemical they use for 100 liters. That is the ratio they use. Again, it depends on the type of coolant chemical you are using. Again, it is it should not mix with any other oils. If it is mixing with any other oils, it will get contaminated. Then we have to dispose. That is also one major issue with this coolant water. It can be reused on without any contamination. Otherwise, it is going to be a major headache for these CNC operators. It will generate a huge amount of effluent. Then due to that splashing, then dermatitis, pulleys, belts, and ears are also set screws. All these are projected items. It is going to be a hazard with the so the point of operation is nothing but, as I mentioned, where our requirement is fulfilling, where the point of operation is happening according to the requirement. So with respect to these ones, the boring and drilling consists of cutting rods, a hole by means of rotating or cutting tool. Machines of this class will be vertical and horizontal in portion. Fixed or portable drills are the reamers and also honors. Even we'll have portable ones. These are the fixed ones. Nowadays, the industries evolved, and also we are getting so many machines which are portable in. Previously, we get electrical with electrical cord or electrical cable. Nowadays, we are getting battery operated as well for doing small kind of operations or drills and screwing machines, etc. So if you see here, the hazards will be spindle contact. Spindle contact is nothing but, as I mentioned, where the job is stationary, the spindle will be having the huge RPM in hundreds. So if you are handling or contact with the spindle, it is going to be a severe hazard. Tool and the chuck is nothing but where you have pointed the job, unclamping job, and also breakage of tool or stuck by the job. Again, this one unclamping job is nothing but while the machine is in operation, here we clamp the job on the chuck. Chuck is nothing but where the platform. This is the chuck. If you're mounted on this, the rotator or the spindle will come and contact the job, and here it gets rotated. If the clamps get unclamped out, it is nothing but it is damaged. Then that is going to be an hazard. Again, it will get throw the job. And hair and loose clothing in contact with the revolving spindle. Again, loose clothing or a long hair. Then sweeping chips by the hand. This is also one of the hazard. We are not supposed to sweep the chips, hence it is very sharp. Belt, pulleys, and gears and set screws, and flying particles. These are the few hazards which will be there with this boring and drilling machines. Again, here we use sleeve guards and also telescopic drill guard. Telescopic drill guard is nothing but it will be in action type. So once the ram will come down, I mean the drill or spindle, it can adjust automatically so that we will not have any chance to interact with the spindle. Then clamp guards, cage type guards. Then we have to use the brush or any other sort of equipment or tool to clean the chips. Again, fixed guards for the prime movers, which is nothing but where the spindle use the energy. Then barrier guards and also the goggles to avoid contact with the flying particles. Then we see safe operation and maintenance of machines, how or what are the precautions we supposed to take while operating the machines and also while doing any maintenance activity for the machines. So the operator should be well trained on the machine operation. So whatever it is, what kind of operation or what kind of machine he is operating, he should be well aware about the functionalities of the machine, and also he should understand the emergency response in case of any emergency, how he can safely shut off the machine. Then trained supervision should be provided. So trained supervision in the sense, whoever is supervising the operator, he should also SOP, they should not take or they should not jump any points from the safe operating procedures. So these procedures are very useful for the new operators, and also these procedures are very useful whenever you are stuck somewhere on the decision making, and even these procedures are very useful to get a better quality and prevention of accidents and also shortcuts. And dangerous parts must be properly guarded. So dangerous parts is nothing but the point of operation and also the rotating parts, which are the prime movers, where we have the belts and pulleys, which give energy to the machine. The new machines, equipment, tool should be inspected before use. So that's where the most of the companies, they involve a safety team also while purchasing a machine. So definitely we'll check that what are the inbuilt safety systems which are there in the machine. Then we have to check all the functionalities of the machine, how we do a breakdown by applying Lotto, and we checking all the emergency stop buttons, whether they are properly working. If it is coming with any safety interlocks, we have to check all those interlocks before operating the machine. Then running machine should not be left unattended. It should be shut down in a safe mode, or off the switch should be a locking device, and the machine under repair should be tagged and also warning notice. It is nothing but whenever the machines are in operation, the operator should not leave that machine. So he should be with the machine, he should continuously monitor that. And if you are shutting off or locking device, is nothing but whenever you are taking for a shutdown, whenever it is not in operating condition, it should be tagged, and also we have to keep the warning notice saying that machine is under maintenance, or you should not switch on, you should not turn on, don't operate, etc., etc. Then operator should not wear a loose fittings, clothings, loose sleeves, neckties, and also metal jewelry. They should not lean over rotating parts while in operation. Whenever the machine is in operation, sometimes even maintenance people also used to do the checking. So once they have performed the maintenance activity, definitely they will check, or definitely they will come across with this such kind of situations. They should be very careful that they should not use any loose clothing or jewelry, chains. They can intact, or they can caught with this rotating parts. An operator should be well aware about eye and also hand protection. They should run the machine at appropriate or proper speed. So this is also one thing. They should well aware about the usage of suitable PPEs, the personal protective equipments. And also that is their right to get the suitable PPEs. And also they should not run the machine beyond the specifications of the machine. And sometimes what will happen, they try to bypass. For example, even for the vehicles, the RTO, they used to fix a speed limit of 80 or 100 kilometers per hour. Sometimes they used to bypass. Not in the case. Definitely, it is not supposed to be done. But sometimes they used to do that case. Here, similarly, what will happens? The machines also, they run without a safety interlock. They will put a request to the production head. Immediately, he will give an instruction to the maintenance saying that do some modification. The door interlock is making an interruption, or it is hesitating the operator to give a better production or productivity. So it is not supposed to be done at all. Then manual adjustment should not be carried out while machine in motion. This point may be applicable or this not applicable, because some adjustments, it has to be done while the machine is in a motion. Not all the cases, for the few machines. For that also, again, we have in a Factories Act, there is a requirement. The occupier has to notify the few people they are authorized to do such activities, and they have to maintain a separate register for that. Only those people are allowed to do such kind of activities. Definitely all the maintenance people will have this activity, but in a practical case, I have not seen such a register, but there is a requirement from the Factories Act. Then open hand should not be used to clean the scrap or chips. A brush or vacuum cleaner or any special equipment should be used for that purposes. So again, this one, sharp edges, they are so sharp than the razor blades which we used before. Long ago we have the big blade where they use. Even nowadays the barber shop also they split the blade into two pieces and they use it. It is sharper than that. So we should not allow any operator to clean that. Even the sad news is they use the compressed air for the cleaning of these chips. That is too dangerous for cleaning these metal chips with a compressed air. Then proper hand tool should be used, and also job should be properly fitted in the machine. The constant watch for the proper machining is necessary. So whenever you are fixing the job on the chuck, which is nothing but the platform of the machine, it should be properly done, and you should always monitor the machining activity. In case of any disturbance or unnecessary noise which is coming out of the machine, immediately you can shut off the machine. Then a compressed air should not be used to blow the chips and also machine or clothing. It is nothing but only the cleaning of the machine and also the clothing. Whatever the cloth which you are using, dress also, you are not supposed to clean with a compressed air. Okay, now we'll talk about total productive maintenance, TPM. I think most of the people from the oil infra, they are known about this. We have so many people from maintenance team. So if you see the few objectives or the goals of this implementing total productive maintenance to minimize overall equipment effectiveness through total employee involvement. Here, not only maintenance people will take care of the machines, it is also the responsibility of the operators. They should involve on increase the efficiency of the machines. And also to improve the equipment reliability and also maintainability, this will improve the quality and also productivity. So when the machines are properly maintained or used as per the specifications, so ultimately it gives the quality output and also productivity, in the sense no breakdowns. So definitely you will get a good output from those machines. Then to cultivate the equipment related expertise among the operating personnel. So basically what will happen, other objective, to create a good understanding or a good knowledge on machine maintenance. In the sense, not the critical maintenance, the basic ones, they need not to wait for the maintenance team has to come and they only have to do that. So they will give a few sort of tips to the operational personnel so that those kind of small adjustment they can do themselves. And to create a lively work environment and culture. Again, it's like a safety culture. So here it will create in a good environment. So they will also, operators also get some accountability on operating those, the machines which they are running. Okay. So I'm stopping here. We have less than a minute. We can continue in the second session. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask.